Hello everyone, here I am with a story to read to you today about a garden. It's called And the Good Brown Earth by Kathy Henderson. Look at this picture. That does look like the good brown earth. Looks a lot like what I see when I look down at the ground while we're hiking together. Let's begin. When Graham went to the vegetable patch, Joe came too. It was nearly winter. Now is digging time, said Graham, and she picked up her spade and dug that ground into big old lumps. Joe dug too. He made a hole and a heap and a squashy place for squelching in. And the good brown earth got on with doing what the good brown earth does best. Next time Graham went to the vegetable patch, Joe came too, and there was snow on the ground. Joe ran and jumped and slid and whooped. Graham stood and looked. Now's thinking time, said Graham, thinking about all the things in her gardening book. Joe thought too. He thought up a snowman. Next time Graham went to the vegetable patch, Joe came too, and there was spring in the air. There's spring in the air right now, isn't there? Now's planting time, said Graham, and she raked out all the loose earth, smooth as breadcrumbs, and planted seeds in long, straight rows. Joe planted too, lots of seeds, here and there and who knows where. It's just like us beginning our seeds in our homes to start for our gardens later on, right? What have you planted so far? Let's find out what they plant. And the good brown earth got on with doing what the good brown earth does best. Next time Graham went to the vegetable patch, Joe came too, and the birds were singing, the trees were flowering, and the rain and the sun were chasing each other across the sky. Now's watching time, said Graham, keeping an eye on those hungry birds, and she made a scarecrow and stuck it in the ground. Joe watched too. Graham, Graham, he shouted, there are green spikes coming up. Now, why do you think Graham was watching out for hungry birds? And why do you think she built a scarecrow? What does a scarecrow do? She's trying to protect her plants, right? And her seeds? And what are those green spikes in the picture that Joe saw? What could those be? Next time Graham and Joe went to the vegetable patch, it was green all over. Now's weeding time, said Graham. And she picked up her long-handled hoe and grubbed up all those weeds between her vegetable rows. Joe pulled up a few weeds too. At least he hoped they were weeds. Then he rolled in the long grass and sang. Looks like Joe's going to need a tick check later. Next time Graham and Joe went to the vegetable patch, it was hot, Hot, hot! The plants were drooping and the earth was dry. "Uh-oh," said Gram, "now's watering time." And she hooked up the hose to an old tap and ran it on the plants, sweet as rain. Joe watered too, mainly himself, and he gave Gram the second ripe strawberry. Well, gosh, that looks like a real nice summer day to me. Soon, Joe's Ma and Pa took the whole family to the beach, and Gram and Joe went too. "Now's resting time," said Gram, stretched out for a snooze. The sun shone and the breeze blew. And the good brown earth got on doing what the good brown earth does best, day after day, until the next time Gram went to the vegetable patch, and Joe came too, of course. What did they find? Oh, wow, oh, wow, oh, wow! There were Gram's plants standing tall and ripe and lush. Look at that. That garden looks happy. And there were Joe's, higgledy-piggledy, tangly, fantastic. What a cheerful garden he planted. Let's look at this picture a little closely. What do you see here? What kinds of plants do you see that Joe planted? Flowers, a pumpkin, some tomatoes, some strawberries. Lots and lots of beautiful and delicious things. And in Gram's garden, what do we see? Maybe some lettuces or cabbages, some corn, maybe some kale or spinach or chard down there. Looks like some carrots. Do you remember the carrots in our garden when we plucked and dug those carrots out in the fall? Well, it was a long time ago now. Joe jumped up and down and hugged and hugged and hugged his own Gram tight. "But what? But how? But who?" asked Joe. Gram hugged him back. "You'd have to ask the good brown earth," she said. Then she took her long pronged fork and opened up the ground, and there were pale brown potatoes like buried treasure, and carrots and parsnips and beets, all things that grow underground. "Now's gathering time," said Gram, filling her basket, and Joe gathered too. Beans and greens, ladybugs and grasshoppers, dandelions and fat tomatoes, and he ate so many blackberries that purple juice ran all down his chin. And when they'd finished gathering, Gram and Joe loaded up the wheelbarrow and set off for home, ready for feasting time. Wow, that's a lot of good food. Mommy. And the good brown earth got on with doing what the good brown earth does best.
Mommy.
Yes?
Are you taking a picture?
I'm doing a movie of this book, and look at there's the good brown earth again.
Mommy. Why is there that?
Do you want to push that and be all done? Bye.
Bye.